In this section, I'll demonstrate how to repair videotapes. The tools you need are basic Scotch tape, a couple of screwdrivers, and a good pair of scissors. This screwdriver here is just simply an eyeglass size repair screwdriver. As you can see, it's really small, and that's for the smaller tapes such as minidv and 8mm tapes. For regular VHS tapes, you could just use a regular Phillips screwdriver. And to get started, we'll take a look at a common VHS tape repair. And I'll remove these tools for a moment. Before we actually start repairing the tape, anytime you're working with videotapes, and just for your basic knowledge, as you can see, this tape has the tab still in the cassette. You always want to break those out, even though it's not necessary for tape repair. Just anytime you have people's tapes that contain memories, you want to have the tab broken out. So at any time, if you ever put it into VCR and would happen to accidentally hit record or even bump the record button with your elbow, or you press record on a different VCR but the remote control starts this tape recording, by breaking out the tab you eliminate the possibility of that. So that's just a good lesson even for handling customer tapes on a regular basis. Always break the tab out. That makes it so that it's impossible to record onto the tape. The same is true with the minidv tapes. They're clearly marked. It says record or save. Record is actually when the plastic is over to covering the slot. To save a minidv tape, you actually slide over the plastic tab, and now it is on save. So when it's on save, the same is true. You cannot record onto this tape. With an 8mm tape, it also has a plastic sliding door here. To the right is record or open when the door is closed. This one's a little stubborn. It's on the save mode. Always put your tapes into the save mode no matter what. It's just a good practice. Back to the tape repair. With this tape, the first thing you'd want to do is just inspect it to see what's wrong with it. And as you can see, it appears to be normal. The only way you'll be able to tell is to look under the gate. This is called the gate. And to open the gate, as you can see, it's locked on normally. On this side of the tape, you can see there's a little button right here. So looking at the spools, it would be on the left side of the tape. Put your fingernail in there, or the edge of your finger, and that releases the gate. Anytime I'm working with a tape, it's kind of hard to hold the gate back while you're messing around with the tape here. So what I'll do is take a piece of regular Scotch tape, and I'll just tape the gate open so that it stays out of your way when you're working on the tape. Now you can be hands-free. As you can see on this tape here, it's just messed up. It's wrinkled. What usually happens is it gets caught in the VCR and people force the tape back out of the VCR and it stretches the tape. And this is very common. The tape in this case isn't broken though, so all we really need to do is simply cut out the section of bad tape and splice together the... Whoops, I didn't tape that very well. Let me reopen the gate here. Getting back to what we were talking about, simply cut out the bad section of tape and splice together the two good ends. The next thing to know about a VHS tape is that you don't have to open up the tape always. In a case like this, you actually don't need to open up the tape because in this hole right here, I can use my screwdriver to insert it in the hole, and you'll notice there's a spring-loaded button in there. When you press that button, it releases the tape, or it releases these reels. Normally these are locked so they won't turn. In your VCR pushes this button so that the reels will turn. If you notice, if I put a little pressure on this, the tape is locked solid. When I press in this button and then pull on the tape, you'll notice it releases, it comes free. So what you want to do is give yourself some slack in the tape. And I should have taped the gate better. Let me do that right now. Okay, hopefully that will hold. And now, as you can see, we've got plenty of extra tape to work with. So all we'll have to do, actually I'm going to release a little bit more tape. I'll press in the button with my screwdriver down here. and then pull on the tape. So I have plenty of good tape, you know, coming out of the cassette. And then all you want to do is simply take your scissors, and actually I'll try to get it to where you can see it on camera here. There's a little bit more damaged tape in this area. You can see it's wrinkled. That won't play back very well, but in this case I'm going to leave it. Usually you want to try to salvage as much of the tape as possible. And one thing to realize, it seems like you're cutting out a lot of tape here, but don't get too worried about it, because this length of tape is literally going to be a split second of video. So what we're going to do is make a cut on either side of the damaged portion of the tape. Okay, and now I've cut out that bad portion of tape and I have two good ends here. And all we're going to do is simply splice those together with Scotch tape. And basically what I like to do is get the tape to lay down flat on the table for you. I just use a weight. As you can see, anything will work. I'm just putting a tape on it there. I'm going to give myself a little more slack on this end. So I'm going to push in that button to release the tape reel, and I'm going to pull out some extra length on this side. And then you want to get them in line as straight as possible. My gate went shut again, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'll use this videotape to just weight down this side of the tape. As you can see, that just simply makes it easier to work with the tape and get it lined up. And then Scotch tape happens to be about the same width as videotape. So you just, I'm just using a piece about this long. And normally what I'll actually do is, and it's kind of hard to do it on camera here, but I'll give it my best shot. Just make sure that you don't accidentally twist the tape and have it going the wrong way. In other words, you want to have it upside down the same direction. As this piece is coming out of the tape, you know, I'm twisting it over away from the tape, and I want to twist this one over away from the tape as well. The first thing I'll do is go ahead and put my tape on here, and it's easier if I work with it off the table a little bit. And I got it reasonably straight on the tape, and then I'll lay that down on the table in line with the other section of the tape, and simply press down the tape firmly. As you can see, my tape didn't line up perfectly on this side. It's over a little bit, so what I'll do is just trim that so that it's in line with the edge of the tape with my scissors after I'm finished splicing this together. The next thing I'll do is get another piece of tape and flip the splice over and tape it where it overlaps on the back of the tape as well. Okay, and just make sure, try to get all the air bubbles out of the tape as good as possible. And then, like I said, you want to make sure that you don't have this excess tape hanging over the side, or it could get caught in the VCR. So I'll simply trim it so it lines up perfectly with the edge of the tape. And this will go through the VCR fine. You don't have to be that much of a perfectionist on these tape repairs. As long as it'll hold together, and this will actually hold together real good. As you can see here, I'm pulling on it fairly firm, and it stays together. The key to our tape repairs is we always sell a transfer to DVD with the tape repair. So as long as this splice holds while it goes through the VCR, which it'll hold fine, you're good to go. Once you get it on DVD, it doesn't really matter anyway. We generally don't do tape repairs with the idea that the customer will be using the tape for playback again and again. So as long as it's repaired good enough to run it through the VCR, get it on a DVD, that's all you need to worry about. And again, I'll open the gate, and now the last thing to do is to just simply, bear with me here, I'm trying to watch the monitor, make the video, and repair the tape at the same time. So basically you just want to make sure that it winds up back into the tape smooth, and I'll use my thumb and the reel to wind it up, and you can see it's going back in there.